Hello and welcome to the first Advanced Steel Dynamo tutorial. This is tutorial number 1 and I'm going to show you how to create a straight beam within Dynamo and model it in Advanced Steel. So to create a steel beam within Dynamo, I've launched my Dynamo application on my right hand side and I've got my drawing environment from Advanced Steel on the left hand side. So I'm going to jump straight into Dynamo. And this tutorial is basically a simple step-by-step guide to creating a single straight beam. You'll notice that when you have Advanced Steel for Dynamo, you have the Advanced Steel attributes that we can add into it. And we look under beams, we've got two types, and in this case we've got a straight beam. Within Dynamo I simply left click, expand it, and place the asset into the drawing. You'll notice that this is the straight beam by start point and an end point. So to define the beam, what I need is a start point, an end point, and a vector orientation. So let's start with looking at the start point. Type into the search command, let's go for a point. Let's do it by a coordinate. We simply click it and it inserts my point by coordinate into the model. And what I want to do is connect this point to the start point of my straight beam. I'm going to copy this component, I'm going to paste it, and I simply get a second point. This will form the end point of my straight beam. So I've got 2 points, and the input into the points is an X, Y, and Z coordinate, and an X, Y, and Z coordinate on the end point. So to define these, what I need to do is simply put in a number. So I'm going to select my number input. You can see my number input is here, and I'm going to drag my number input to my X value, and I'm going to simply drag it to my Y value. So the number within here will define the start X and Y point. I'm going to copy my number string. So Control C, Control V. I'm going to drag this to my Z coordinate. So the start point is going to be an X and Y value, and the end point is going to be a Z coordinate. So the other thing that I need to do to define my beam is the orientation of the vector. So I'm simply just going to type vector into the string, and what I want to do is create it once I search for what I want. Is it based on an X, Y, or Z? In this case I'm going to say it's an X vector, which I'm going to place in the middle. I'm going to change my run method to manual just to show you the process. So I'm going to connect my X vector with my orientation. You can probably already see in the graphical interface, if I switch it, you can see that we're already starting to define the position of the beam. So under the Z value, I'm going to say that my height of my beam on the Z direction is going to be 2500. And I've got my 2 points for start point, end point, vector configuration, and I've got my simple straight beam. So I'm going to change my run method. I'm going to click the run, click into Dynamo, or click into the Advanced Steel interface, and you can see what the system has done. It has created a column beam 2500, and if I change my height, click the run button, you'll see that Advanced Steel will automatically update. If we change our run method to automatic, then when we start to change these values, click into the model, the drawing updates. So let's look at what if we wanted the beam rotated the other way. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to put in a Z axis. I'm just going to move these down so it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to drag the vector to the orientation, click back to my model, and you can see just by simply dragging the vector orientations, they can change the orientation of the beam. So some little bits of housekeeping that I like to do. First of all, I'm going to save my Dynamo script. I'm just going to save it as a column. What I like to do is group all my objects, right click, create it as a group, so that creates them in as a single entity as such. Double click my heading, and I can simply say that is column number 1. And a really nice feature, you can right click and you can actually select this little button which will clean up the node layout, which just gives it into a nice little, everything is in line and coordinated. So then I can simply, if I want to start changing things, so I'll change that to 100, click to my model, you can see that the X and Y values have moved. I can change the height of any of the objects. Reset it back, and I say I want this 1 meter high. Click my script, click into advanced steel, and there we have the simple fundamentals of the basic core of what we're going to start to do within Dynamo.